All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 4.
All right, last chapter, we got basically a little bit of everything.
Yep.
We got the comedy, we got the action, we got the excitement, we got a little bit of the twists, and the Nora focus was welcome.
That was wonderful. It was fantastic. And also the Penny focus. Both the
Yeah.
redheads.
Yeah, we are also saying goodbye to Penny, though, which is kind of the twist. Because it's like, oh no.
When are we
this
going to
is one
see
of
her
those
again?
moments.
Oh
God, I
is
hope we
everything
see
going
her
to be
again soon.
different when we see her again?
Given that things are moving, a little bit here, a little bit there, and we're giving this little bit of focus here to this group here, Team Burpin.
Yes, that's definitely a color.
Yes. Yeah,
Yep.
I tried to combine all their first names and stuff like that.
I'm sure that works out just fine.
Yeah, I think it's just now Team Burned because Penny's gone.
Yeah.
So if anything, we need to get a little bit of the focus on what's going to be happening with Watts and Ironwood doing this whole thing with Penny. Salem and at the very least, how she gets at least, in the know regarding the fact that Oscar's been taken.
How Salem gets in the know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Salem like has Oscar like freaking
Probably
grabbed
en
by a
route to
Grim.
her command vessel.
Does she come grab him? Does the Grim just
I think it just
fly
takes him
the
back.
whole way there?
Yeah,
exactly. Then specifically with Crow
and the other prisoners,
and Robin and Jacques. Yeah,
bitch.
Yeah, are they going to hatch some kind of escape plan, or are they going to be kind of lying in wait for now?
Who knows?
And then also, of course, the people that are most distraught right now, the ones that just lost Oscar. What do they do?
Yeah, how do they try and recover from that L?
Do we just kind of like...
Well, okay, I guess there's nothing we can do about that. Let's go about our business.
Or do we just give chase?
And if so, how?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. This OP's really growing on me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I went and did a thing recently where I went back and checked all the previous OPs. One of the things that has been like ridiculously good over the course of time is the visuals that they put in for the OPs in later volumes.
Oh, yeah?
To the point where you're like, oh wow, I don't even remember a lot of the visuals of the earlier volumes.
I remember. Don't remember the
Like, no, but that's my thing, is that, like, when you compare the gradual progression, it's really exciting to then look at this and go, oh my god, this is so good.
Well, and one of the other things I'm kind of curious about is that given that the trending of the OPs over the course of the show has been darker, but then it got to the point where it's like, oh no, now they're starting to get more hopeful, but with this part of the show where we're at right here, this is where you would think there would be the most despair, the most hopelessness. And yet, I haven't looked at the lyrics in detail, but it doesn't feel like that,
Yeah, if anything, I feel like what the themes of this one is just that mistakes are made. Mistakes have been made. And
they will continue to be
those will
made.
have consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have seen the look on Joanna's face. I don't think she'd ever lost a fight before that. At least, not fair and square.
Talking to Crow?
I think so.
Or just
You don't exactly have a rapt audience.
Yeah. Ah! How'd that get in there?
Tonight. Guess Ironwood should have paid for better cell block entertainment. And he smiles. Did I win?
Hey, it's your game. I don't make the rules.
I'm sorry
Always playing someone
for what
else's
happened.
game.
It wasn't your fault.
It was, though.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I made a deal with the darkness, and he paid the price. It was all happening so fast, but Clover wouldn't let up. Could have worked together against Tyrion if Clover just...
If Clover?
But the thing that really stings, for the first time in a while, I thought, maybe I could be around somebody, anybody, without my semblance making it complicated. And now, it just feels like a childish dream. Gone, like everybody else.
Believe it or not, I know a little of what that's like. When people are worried you're gonna sniff out their secrets, they tend to push you away. It makes a real connection difficult.
I never thought of it that way.
You don't get to keep that.
I didn't kill him.
You keep saying that. But it was your weapon covered in his blood.
Yeah.
If you really want to know what happened, Mohawk, why not open the cell and take my hand?
Yeah.
If I open the cell, it won't be to shake hands.
Yeah, because you don't care about the truth.
Exactly.
You just want someone to be mad at. Easier than taking an honest look at what side you're on.
Oh!
Yep.
Oh!
That's the problem when you have a
Spitting
truth, ability like that.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Everyone starts to realize
Hey,
that,
Marrow, yeah.
maybe I don't actually want the truth.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
Well, that was
you can give an alternate take here.
almost exciting.
Yeah. But pathetically predictable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hype music.
There we are. We are on chase.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how much longer these bikes can stand the cold.
I'm really wishing one of us could fly right now.
Wait, hold on. Ren, going to get you up there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh!
Let's go.
Okay, this is the
Yes.
start of a plan. This is the start of a plan. But
This feels very like early Volume 1.
Slowing him down. Hold on, Ren.
Lots of aerial non-flying maneuvers.
yeah, but this thing is smart. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I don't see this working. Oh, slingshot.
Oh, or at least just slowing it down.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, that could have been bad.
Oh.
Wow. This is why you use a 3D engine. You can have environments like this and like. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, this is.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh
God.
All right, we're in a video game.
I did
level
not
now.
expect that. Okay.
Phase 2.
Well, all right.
All right,
go.
new song.
This is hype. This reminds me of like Mad Max when they're going through the canyon with the motorcycles like going around them.
Oh my God, Red, there's no way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Loving the first person.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Wait, it bent?
That's awesome. Well, either it bent or because it was in the snow, it like tilted.
No, it bent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. So landing strategy.
What? No way, Ren! Oh my God.
Oh, that's a clutch move right there. But
Yep.
got
It
away.
did not work, but wow, what a sequence.
Okay.
Oh.
You've picked a fine time to.
Not another word. We're coming in.
Shitley, please.
Things are
step
already
aside.
bad enough after what you did to Father. Now you want us to harbor fugitives too? Our family has a reputation.
That's what you're worried about? Your reputation?
Do you see
I'm
the
just saying
grim
that
out
we've
there?
already lost all the house staff. And Mother locked herself in her room.
Maybe you haven't figured out what's going on, Whitley, but we're busy trying to save Atlas. Look, our friend is hurt. We just need a place to lay low while she rests, and then we'll be out of your way.
Fine. What do you expect me to do then?
This is the interaction
to
I
your
did
room.
not expect.
This way.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah, that
was amazing.
Yeah.
Ruby,
I hope everyone's doing all right.
if you're worried about Yang, you could always try calling her.
That's the thing. I did.
But she's lost signal.
Yeah.
Repeat if anybody can hear me.
Oh shoot, yeah, they lost their
Transport back
bikes.
to Mantle.
They're in the cold.
Uh-huh. Well, Yang, time to burn, you know?
I mean, that's not.
We need to get out of this weather before
yeah,
the cold
yeah.
drops our ores
Yeah, they can't-
completely.
Yeah.
How
can't
much
just do
farther to
that.
the outpost? Ren, how much?
I don't know.
That's a shot.
Nice.
Okay.
Our boy's
I
lost his
thought you said you
cool.
saw it when you were up in the air.
We
I did.
failed.
Before I had to cut myself loose to help you guys.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you've brought that up a couple times now.
Oh.
Something you need to say?
Not really. Wouldn't want to waste any more time.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Hey,
Huh.
what is your deal?
Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm sorry things aren't going smoothly enough for you.
Guys. They're not going smoothly at all.
I hate to break it to you, but that's part of being a huntsman.
Are you kidding? We don't know the first thing about being huntsmen. We clearly weren't ready.
Guys, stop it.
Were we not ready when we saved Haven? When we took down a Leviathan? We got the lamp to Atlas.
And then we lost it. And after that, when we had to make real decisions, we got
Wow.
every single one wrong.
I'm not going to pretend like we did everything perfectly. But if we'd done nothing,
Oh, this
things
is
would
good.
be even worse than they
Yeah.
are now.
How could they possibly be worse? We are stuck out here while Salem has the lamp and Oscar. We've got no plan, no army.
We've got the Maiden.
And by keeping her from opening the vault for Ironwood, we're just trapping the whole city for Salem.
Wow.
People are going to die. Because of
Yeah.
us.
So what? We should just give Ironwood what he wants? Abandon Mantle? You think Atlas is still going to be able to float to safety now that she's here?
I don't know. But these aren't the kinds of decisions we should be making because we have no idea what we're doing.
Okay, both of you, cut it out.
I'm just saying what nobody else wants to. We're in way over our heads. Ruby is barely more than a kid. I'm just an orphan from the middle of nowhere.
Ren, I am.
You cheated your way into bacon.
Oh, dang. This is.
Well,
Oh.
You don't think we should be huntsmen? Fine. But I'm getting out of the cold. I've still got a job to do.
Oh.
okay.
Seriously, is your goal just to push everyone away?
That way the camera was on the side of Jean so that way it showed Pyrrha's sash.
Yeah.
Oscar,
Oh my God.
don't panic. We're going to be okay.
But we're also kind of fucked.
My long-lost Ozma. Found at last.
Oh. Oh, that's disturbing. Those are like shadows of their kids.
This new host of yours. It's a wonder my hound didn't break you.
Hi.
It's been
You're a good
how
boy.
many years since we saw each other like this, face to face? And nothing to say?
I don't
Sorry,
even
the
know who
reunion
you
isn't
are.
living up to your expectations.
You can pretend, boy. But you're not fully him. Not yet, at least. Well,
It's killing
perhaps
the
you
buzz.
and I can have a better working relationship. Oscar, was it?
Hmm.
The beacon relic. my forces have been unable to locate the relic beneath the school. If I know my Ozma, he has used some means of deception to hide its location differently than the others.
Oh, I see.
I need to know where it is.
That's not something I know about.
Of course.
Oh,
I
the
would
way
keep
it's
that one
boiling.
guarded as long as possible. How about something easier then? The password for the lamp.
The lamp is all out of questions.
Well, all right. That's all right. Yeah.
Lies come out of you so easily. Like-minded souls, indeed. One of you is going to tell me what you know. I don't much care if it is you or Ozma. Either way, I'll finally have the relic.
I won't tell you anything.
No.
Yeah, silence is the best policy.
Yeah. Just.
Wait.
Yep.
I mean, that almost seems like not as bad as the stuff she was doing.
I think.
But yeah, this is personal.
I think he's gonna do it slower than
Everything
Salem
that
will.
follows will be for my sister.
Oh my God. All right. Jeez. All right. Well. Oscar.
Your Grace, What is that?
An experiment.
Something new.
It did
So
what you
far,
could
I
not.
am pleased with the results. Did you need something, Cinder?
Yes, I want to search for the Winter Maiden. I think.
You hear that, my pet? She thinks. She wants. As if she's done something that warrants me caring about either of those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're
you know
just
what?
sitting and waiting. Without the Maiden power, the Vault means nothing. Let me claim it for you.
I will tell you when and where you are needed.
But Your Grace.
I'd like to think I have shown a great deal of patience over my many years walking Remnant, but I do hate repeating myself. You will remain here. Is that clear?
Yes, of course. Without you, I am nothing.
Oh, that line again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I think Cinder recognized? She recognized the intelligence, and she's like, wait, is that what I'm destined to be?
I know what she said. I just want to check on something. We'll be back before anyone realizes.
Oh!
I want to see if anything is still going on at Amity Coliseum. Salem doesn't know those children like I do.
Wow.
They just abandon their misguided attempt to save the world.
But hey, this is great. This is Neo's excuse to just leave and
Get
never
out
come
of
back. Yeah.
If she doesn't want to, I'll come.
Oh.
I've been working on my semblance. I can help. I won't tell anybody.
In fact,
How much did you overhear?
Wow.
Okay, that's a cool development. That's cool. All right.
You're right, Ren. I did cheat my way into Beacon. And I'm glad I had people around me to help me see that I was bigger than that mistake. You've got people around you too. You don't have to force yourself to be strong. The more you hide from what you're feeling, the more alone you're going to feel. Trust me.
Yeah. That wasn't advice that was asked.
If anyone
for.
cares, I found a part to fix the bike.
Okay.
So, yay.
One bike.
Good news.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry he said that to you. I know you've had to work hard to get here, Jean.
We're all under a lot of stress right now.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
used to push people away too.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
Think she thinks less of me? For not helping out with Amity?
Ruby is your sister. She's always going to love you, even if you disagree with each other.
Yeah. Ruby.
I need to get some sleep, but I can't stop thinking about Oscar.
Go on. I'll make sure Ren doesn't brood himself to death out in the cold.
Thanks. I just have a bad feeling. Things always seem to get worse before they get better.
Where are we going?
Oh, God.
Where are we going?
Oh, God.
Where
Why
are we going?
doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
Jacob,
all right.
maybe the reason why she was waiting is because only the Air Forces are here.
Yeah.
Only the Air Forces are here. She's like, I will attack when I have 0 chance of losing.
Hold
not
on.
in a 1 in a million,
Right.
not a 1 in 10 billion, but a 0 chance.
I wanted to recreate an anime, and god damn it, I will have my kaiju.
I don't want no random spiral power bullshit.
Yeah.
Saving them. Oh my god. We are
Well,
getting something of like
that's-
a ground quaking like
Yeah,
last time we saw just saying, last time we saw the ground crack and something emerge, it was a dragon grim.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like oh my god, this is bad.
Well,
Okay. My god. Okay.
All right.
That was probably one of the most like awkward, tense recent episodes.
Yeah.
And those are 2 separate things entirely. The
Right.
chase
The chase was fantastic.
Oh,
I loved it.
delightful.
That was some of my favorite action in RWBY in recent memory, especially action that didn't have like big plot consequences. Like yes, they needed to capture Oscar, so big plot consequences there. But it's sort of a foregone conclusion. We're assuming that Oscar is going to get away because
Right.
You know that's how it
Yes.
will lead to the next thing, right?
And in that respect, no, it doesn't have any big plot consequences because we look at the situation and go, do you give chase because
Right.
you feel like you must?
Yeah,
or
it's-
because it's actually possible that you could because
Right,
that
it's
Grimm is
character
so
consequences.
Smart. Like
Yeah,
just,
yeah, exactly.
Just the idea of how it utilized Ren's own idea to attach himself to its leg to be like, all right, fine, I'm gonna slap you around a bit.
Yep. Like even if Yang had been able to hit it, it established before that it's very good at doing the yeah. Do you want to hit this?
Right.
No? All right, then stop
and,
shooting.
And even if that was the case, like, how many hits do you think this thing could take?
Oh, a ton.
If it's, like, constantly, like,
yeah.
morphing and stuff, like...
It probably wouldn't go very well. But as far as the, like, it's... One of the reasons that I loved it, other than just the spectacle, because visually it was a treat. You know, watching those first-person shots and going through all the obstacles, and then the Grimm showing up and just making it even crazier. It was great. I loved it, right?
Yeah.
But it was something where the situation felt truly desperate, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the time in RWBY, when they're fighting Grimm, it's sort of the haha, we're fighting Grimm, this is great. Maybe there's swarms of them, but we're badasses and this is awesome and we fight them and
it's a delay, basically, before we can get to the climax of the episode.
Right, the climax of the episode, or like when a named character comes on stage for them to actually fight, then it is a lot more serious.
Yep.
But in this situation, they were hopelessly, hilariously outmatched, right?
Yep.
They could not actually win that conflict there.
Seriously.
We knew it wasn't going to work, but they had to try because otherwise what on earth were they going to do, right?
Well, that's the thing that I love that they brought up with Ren later is the idea that no, we messed up the second we basically let Oscar get away, and we can't blame ourselves for that. We just have to accept the fact that we lost. So even this whole chase out here was pointless in the tactical sense, the strategic sense, but also in just the did we go out there to save Mantle
Oscar
and stuff? No, that's why we came out here, right? Are we just trying to do the best we can so that we feel good about saving as many people as possible, but we're not actually necessarily
putting the effort in
that we're making the right choice? So maybe a lot more self-doubt about whether or not the thing that we assume is the right thing is actually the smart thing to do.
Right. Now, granted, Oscar is very important. He has
Oscar
information
is insanely important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes! It makes sense that they chase because there's a 1 in a million chance or a 1 in a 1,000 chance that it
that's
could
a gamble
work.
that you take, right?
Right.
You know,
you can't predict the future. Yeah. And it makes sense that we got into this situation that no, they couldn't have stopped the Grimm at the point of it and taking Oscar. This is a wild encounter in the DM's, encounter table that is
it's not going to work.
That is a natural 100.
Right.
You do not want to face this thing ever.
Right.
It made Cinder terrified.
Right.
Like, yes, I know that doesn't necessarily say as much, but
yeah. Well, and it made Cinder terrified by itself. Not with all the Grimm. Yes, Salem was there too, and that was probably the main reason for it, is what that represents.
The relationship between the two.
Yeah, seeing where she actually was on the food chain. But this is also something where it's not even about them needing to defeat it. It just needs to get away.
Yep.
Right? So and then going from that, because Yang and Ren have been very sort of judgmental of the not even necessarily the failings of the other characters so much as the failings of their group as a whole, and then using other characters as focal points for their blame, maybe so that they don't have to blame themselves, because they're definitely not doing that at all already.
And that's definitely a part of where, specifically with Ren, you can feel that he's realized where his own inadequacies have failed him, and that has been something that maybe he hasn't had to
process.
Look at as much, because by him being a part of a dynamic duo where everything stays the same, if things don't change that much, everything's predictable. Everything's a little bit easier.
Right.
But now we're here and things are not predictable. They're not easy. They're also really in a situation where they're not even equipped to handle it properly. I liked how they utilized John's little tricks with his semblance, with his gadgets, like just his weapon, like all this stuff over the course of all this. Sorry, not his semblance, but just his aura in general. I think that was more Ren launching off of the shield, but it all ended up just being kind of pointless. It didn't do anything, and Ren maybe did have a shot, but
right,
they didn't really have a great plan.
And when it comes right down to it, oh, what do you know, Ren, you're still that scared little boy that can't do what needs to be done, right? That is helpless in a lot of ways, And how are you going to deal with that? Because it's not that everything gets easier. In fact, everything gets harder. But it's okay, what are you going to do in response? And up till now, he hasn't really been pushed.
Yeah, he has, but it's not
really.
In a long time.
Yeah, not in a long time, and not in a deep shake you to your core kind of way. Right? It's the okay, Beacon's getting attacked. That's terrifying, but we're still gonna be more or less okay. We'll be able to get out of it. Everyone else, I don't know, but Whereas in this situation, it's like no. The threat of the impending doom is literally hanging right over your heads in more ways than one. Right? What are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
He's not sure.
Nope.
Right? And now he's seeing all his inadequacies, that all of this training that he's done, all of the things that he's done to try and make it so that way he'll be in control, right? He'll be the Zen, the Lotus, all of that.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yep.
Right? And so then after one more failure that could be potentially their biggest failure yet, RWBY hasn't necessarily made the best decisions, but she didn't let Oscar get, kidnapped, right? That's okay.
That's not something she necessarily would have been immediately able to stop just because she has silver eyes.
Right.
Maybe,
but that is something that happened under your guys' watch in particular. So now, how do you feel about that?
Take responsibility and move on to the next thing. Because when it comes down to it, this is probably one of the toughest things about failing, is that when you fail, admit that you failed, and take it in stride and go, this is something where I cannot change the past.
Right.
Therefore, I'm going to adjust, learn from it, move on to something else. Now, one of the things that is extremely good about the Ren and Yang blowout is that these two, specifically, and I like that these two are kind of the ones that they used to do this, they're not really close.
Nope.
They don't really know each other that much. And
They're
this
very
is something
different,
that maybe
like-
even as in a meta thing, kind of a point of the show, having it be these two, is that these two, like, literally had their first interaction, I think, where they, like, full on, like, had an interaction in Volume 6, I believe. I think that was the first time ever in the show that we actually saw them, like actually
I think
physically
so.
interacting.
Yeah,
I think
beyond
it was, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was a fandom part that we kind of made a big thing of because Yang hugged Ren, and it was just kind of there, and we were like, wait, is that one of like the first times they've ever like physically touched or even like been that close? And we were like, whoa, actually, yeah. So now at this point, we have these team comps that aren't synergistic.
Nope.
They're awkward. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to figure this out.
Right.
And now we've split the party and we have to live with that decision.
Yep.
So let's let these characters blow out at each other. Just completely let it all go because they're both right. Like no one's
They're all
people
making
might
great points.
People might be in the wrong in terms of like why they're doing things, but rather than judge intentions, just look at the things that they're saying. They're saying stuff that's all completely true.
Yep.
It means
Might not be
nothing
helpful.
though in terms of what they actually do.
Yeah.
But however, if Yang is going to be the one that is kind of the I made the decision that we were going to help Mantle and stuff like that, so I'm kind of the interim party leader for this whole thing here. You might need to bring up some stuff about who's the one that's calling the shots for this little squad here.
Yeah.
And I would say that for the most part, Yang's a decent shot caller. I would say that none of them are perfect, but maybe since you two are a little bit emotionally compromised in this situation, turn it over to John.
Yeah.
Turn it over to John.
And maybe that can give you some better understanding, Yang, for how it's possible for things to just go wrong, even if you don't necessarily make mistakes, right? Now, I think mistakes were definitely made here, but even if there weren't, it still could have gone absolutely tits up, right?
Yeah.
And in this situation, well, it's kind of funny. They're not facing the truth of the matter, right? Which is something that, I forget her name, the Aesop's lady, Harriet.
Harriet.
Yeah, Harriet also wasn't doing. Now, in her case, it's obvious, right? Because you literally have a truth semblance and someone saying, no, that's not how it went. And it's the, would you like me to confirm that for you? No. Ugh. Storm off, right?
Right.
In this situation, we have Ren, and Jean, first off, confirms the thing that he said that he probably shouldn't have said. Definitely shouldn't have said, right? Well, should. That's a weird word, but
yeah, it was a little bit more in the mean-spirited thing rather than complaining about the current situation. Because complaining about the current situation to be like we need to change something, that's valid as long as it leads to action.
Exactly.
But you are this, that
right. That's it might help Ren in the certainly in the short term because he was able to get stuff off of his chest.
Totally.
And that might also, by seeing how rough of a way he had to communicate it, that might be a good mirror for what things are on the inside of you, Ren, because you are not Zen right now.
Yeah.
And you need to acknowledge that.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the rest of the team knows how much help he needs in this situation. So it's on basically the group to come together and just realize we have to survive this.
Right.
We're going to need to work together.
Shore up for the weaknesses of the people around them.
Exactly. We can cover for each other.
Yep.
We're not going to cover up for each other perfectly. We're
Right.
going to continue to make mistakes.
And Jean tries to do that. He extends that, that bearing of the hatchet, and Ren doesn't take it. In fact, he leaves, right? Goes and broods out in the snow.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to be dealing with this volume that I am here for it. I am very much excited about the idea, though, that Yang is starting to question whether she's making the right choice here. Because I don't think you really can make the right choice. They're in
just
a
trying to make the least awful choice.
Right, exactly. That's kind of what they both were doing a little bit. I mean, maybe that's more what Yang was doing, but it was basically that there is no logistically realistic way they can actually win this battle. It's more of a thing of where should our energy be invested the most.
Right. What are the priorities
Who needs
here?
us the most right now? Who can we be the most helpful and effective with? And I love that Yang's questioning that by going, yeah, Ren's whole thing, that did rattle me. Like that was like, what is your deal, man? Like, don't you realize you're not the only one stressed out of your mind right now? Like I loved the voice acting between Barbara and Neith in that situation. That was just really good. But I also really loved that when she asked Jean, "Hey, do you think she's frustrated, with me
Does
about
she think
the
less
whole
of me?
the whole thing
Yeah.
of that?" Yeah, and Jean kind of assumes immediately like, "Oh, she's talking about RWBY."
Yeah,
and it's like, well, in some ways.
In some ways,
it
she
makes
probably
sense.
is.
It makes sense that she's thinking about RWBY in that regard.
But what she's really wanting to, it's again like the whole thing with Ren, right? Where Ren isn't properly facing his own emotional state, right?
Right.
Yang isn't either.
Yeah.
Because, yes, there is some turbulence in the relationship between her and RWBY right now, and a fair amount of it is because of things that she's specifically said.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that to deal with.
But that's probably nothing new.
Yeah, they're sisters,
and they're both accepting what they're each deciding to do.
Right.
They both went off on their own thing
Yes.
to not try and convince that the other person had to do their thing.
Even if there was maybe some hey, you should be doing what I'm doing, they'll work that out. They have a track record of working that out,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
They're not going to stop being sisters, right? Everything that Jean said, it's something that deep down Yang knows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With her and Blake, it's not there isn't that same foundation,
Yes.
right?
It's a newer foundation.
Right, it's a newer foundation. It doesn't run as deep, it's not as sturdy yet. It's something where there is nothing of, they just have to live with each other. So even if they, if words are exchanged and things like that, which, to be fair, not too much has happened so far, in the negative.
Yeah.
But if something did happen, could that be damaged beyond repair?
Right, because there's two things going on here that's really important to just kind of keep in context, just for everyone watching this. From their perspective, everyone could die tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is how bad it is. And it is something that is looming over their head. And it's only been half a day, if that, even closer to a few hours.
Right.
We're at sunset right now. And then with the time skip a little bit towards when it was snowing, then it's basically nighttime. This is all Salem just arrived. Everything is maddening right now. But the fact that Yang actually exchanged words with RWBY means she kind of understands a little bit where things are with RWBY. It's awkward.
Yeah, even
There's
if they're
tension.
not, even if they're in disagreement and there's some contention between them and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But with Blake, it's something where they didn't really speak.
Well, and that's the tough thing.
It was awkward. It was something where, we just found ourselves going different ways. Wait a minute, does this mean something more that, we're incongruent in some way?
Because Blake as a character is not the most outspoken, shall we say. So
is that a joke?
Yeah. So it makes sense that Yang would be a bit more hold on, I've always been kind of the confident, full of energy kind of one, and that's the part of the dynamic, right? Opposites attract and all of that stuff. We got a really good thing going. But in a situation where I might not be that person, or might not be able to be that person, or maybe she doesn't want me to be that person, what do I do?
Yeah.
Right?
Also, the idea of not being outspoken. Blake didn't really speak much about that whole thing when they went in separate ways and stuff. So it is that awkward thing of where, wait, she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
And maybe that's just par for the course. Who knows? Or maybe it's not. You know.
If anything, I really would have wished that one of them. No, this is something they could bring up later. Is that later? The group's still split up. Things are getting really bad. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And one of them goes, I thought about bringing up a third option. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was going to suggest we run away. And it's oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh. And it's just one of those things of where whichever person in the group,
brings
one of the groups brings it up, it's going to be the thing of, if I brought it up, do you think anyone else in their group would
think less of me?
Would have think less of me, or would actually be willing to do that? Because I think one of the things that's really freaky about this is because they can't get Ironwood to work with them, and they can't set up a situation where they'll work with Ironwood. you almost have to really just take all the people that you can, leave, make contact with some other kingdom and be like, we need transports, just things to carry masses of people. Like, please.
Yeah,
like, Haven,
if they could even get them
send us some people. Like, just some dumb, like, basic carriers of, like, you know, stuff like that. Like,
if that would even help, like, even if they could get the people
save at
to
least
them.
100 people probably that way. I know we're dealing in thousands where it's like, no.
Yeah, thousands at the absolute minimum.
Yeah. Now, given that this is a show where we can't really feasibly show thousands of people, we
right,
understand that.
exactly. You know,
the numbers.
Before Lord of the Rings came around, there were ways to make people think that there was a much bigger crowd than you actually had on screen at any one time.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my God.
And one of the things that I also really like about how the conversations went this episode is that some of the conversations that have happened so far in this volume, I got where they were coming from, but at the same time, I couldn't be overly excited about them because they felt melodramatic at points, right? Where it's absolutely understandable that the characters wouldn't be on their best behavior and their best form because the world is ending, right? So that absolutely makes sense, and yet it isn't something that necessarily engages a whole lot of sympathy from me when it starts becoming something where they become divided against each other.
Yeah,
now,
that usually also comes from an issue with the characterization of some aspect there, because either we're not tracking with what characterization brought them to this conflict, or it just is something where it's not necessarily there as strongly. I feel like that's
maybe
more
feels
of
a little bit out of nowhere.
We've not really kept up really with the last few volumes as much.
Potentially, that could be it. But regardless, with this episode, I love the way that it was handled because it was dealing with a lot of the same conflicts that were always there and was brought up in previous episodes.
Right.
But it's something where most of the conflict within this episode was started as a result of people that didn't have much issue with what was going on before, realizing what was happening, seeing these people acting differently, and then trying to do something about it, right? You know, Yang calling Ren out on the, you've mentioned that a couple times. Jean, you know, being like, hey guys, whoa, you know, chill out, you know, trying to help Ren out and, you know, reach out to him that way, right? Things like that where we can see, yes, these characters are connected, right? Even though there's division and strife and stuff that's coming in because of the intensity and the craziness of the situation, they still care about each other. Even if they weren't necessarily originally on the same team, you know, the dynamic between them as individuals wasn't as strong, right? They're still in this situation all that they've got, right? And so what then there's a lot more care in me for the things that get brought up, right? Because people are actively trying to resolve this messy situation, right? And you know, it's of course a bumpy road because of course it's going to be, but there's energy being put into it that could result in something helpful. So I really appreciated that it took that tone in this episode.
For sure. And that's just a good tone to have when you have a show that's tends towards more of the action side of things where the character dynamics aren't really given as much time to breathe.
Especially in a volume like this where apparently it's going to only take place over a couple days. How do you fit quiet moments into a volume like that?
Yeah, exactly. You need smaller groupings. Speaking of smaller groupings, though, Oscar lost his small grouping, and now he's in the maw of the Monstra, and Salem is referring to him as Ozma, and she's sitting in the shadows, wielding shadow magic of their dead children. Like, do you see that? Look at that. Listen, like, put your headphones on and listen to this giggle here. This is some creepy shit here.
Yeah.
She's like, oh. Yeah. Did you hear that? What the hell?
Yeah.
I think that what every volume of RWBY since volume 4 has done better and better, and maybe even from volume 6 onward especially, because we had the Nuclavy in volume 4. Volume 5 had a bit of a gap year with regards to Scary Grim. kind of. There were some things that were a little freaky, but it was more about the people involved. But Volume 6 brought in the apathy. Volume 7 brought in some of the little creepy crawly digger worm things and stuff like that. But this hound is one of the most terrifying things. But Salem has been I am Palpatine. I sit in the background and I sit from my chair and I tell other people to do things.
Yep.
But Salem has gotten scarier and scarier and scarier with every volume.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh my God, when she is walking around him with this, like, oh, honey.
Yeah.
Like, why did you leave me? It's like, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Because, one, he's a kid.
Yep.
I understand the whole reincarnation thing, but the way that she just kind of doesn't see him in that way, she's like, yeah. You've had, dozens of lives.
This flesh sack that you're inhabiting, whatever, It's, it's something where, until now, I didn't even really see Salem as scary.
Right.
She was a force. I know she's powerful, right? I know that she could kill a lot of characters here, or pretty much any of them. But I didn't see her as scary, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
Because I'm like, okay, she's the big bad dark force, right? But here, I'm like, okay, no, this is scary. Because the fact that the thing that stood out to me the most wasn't actually the torture.
No.
It wasn't actually the torture.
No.
Or the smoke magic of the children.
Oh, that didn't do it for you? Okay.
No. It's something a lot smaller and simpler than that. It was the fact that she was in the shadows.
Oh, just kind of...
The fact that she was standing in the shadows. That...
Just like waiting for him to wake up, but she's like wanting to make her little entrance here.
Well, or not even make an entrance necessarily, because unless she was wanting to be like, I'm going to be hidden in the shadows and that will be my entrance, which could have been, but that seemed like all of a sudden we were getting the personal Salem, right?
Right.
It's because
Volume 6, Chapter 3, we got to learn.
Yeah, we saw the sympathetic
as a
side,
being.
right, as a human being, right? Which because of how that episode ended, there was this part of me where I'm like, okay, but how much of the human being is left, right?
And this is a reminder that she is very much still
She's
human.
very much still human. And humans will always be more terrifying to me than any kind of dark god.
Yeah,
right?
Any kind of dark overlord, supreme, magically ascended being.
One human on a bad day will always be scarier to me.
I very much agree. Yes.
So
that's why Tyrion is like a legitimately like freaky villain at times, because he every once in a while acts pretty sane. And you're like...
Right, yeah. Because when he's cackling and stuff, I don't really care about that. It's okay, he's a psycho, right? But when you see someone and they don't fully seem like a psycho, that's when it gets scary to me, because then you're not entirely sure what's going to happen.
Like, look at this part here.
Yeah, where she's looking at him and
her like-minded souls indeed. Like,
right.
Oh,
right.
That smile, it was so
and her upturned eyes that almost look... like
kind.
Yeah. Because it's the thing of the I have been hurt by this person. I can't just torture you. I can. I mean, I'll do that, right?
God.
But
That's
and then
such
it's
a
the
good little conversation.
You know what? Maybe I can deal with you. Forget Ozma.
Yeah.
Oscar, was it? Yeah.
Let's get to know each other.
Let's get to know each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like that's where it's like, oh God.
Right,
like,
right. She's not in a hurry.
Right.
I feel like that's one of the things that the show is slowly really doing a good job of getting us acquainted with, is the idea of an immortal being as an enemy. There are certain things that an immortal being doesn't care about.
Right.
And
100 years is but a moment in the lifetime of an elf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she's outside Atlas, and we're like, why isn't she doing something already? She's like, it's been 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
What is your you're like, I'm so hyped up. We have to have this happen now. And she's like, I've got a thing that's about to break out of the ice and
I've got so many
everything.
Things gestating right now. It's
Right.
not it's not important. And and that is something that I really appreciate how it was handled, because the whole idea of the villain that stops and then gloats and he starts monologuing. He starts monologuing, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's something that can make me lose the tension for the villain very quickly, right?
Yeah.
But given the fact that this volume is taking place over a very short period of time, it's like, okay, cool. On a meta level, I don't really have to worry about that much at all. But also, yes, it hasn't been much time yet, and Cinder's already getting her panties in a wad and getting all impatient. It's like, chill, girl, right? You know, it's just a couple more hours. It's gonna be fine.
Right.
You know,
you have like a 1-for-4 record or something. This dog has a 1-for-1 record.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this thing that's batting 1,000 so far until it drops down to a reasonable record after we get a larger sample size. But honey, your sample size it's not that
the results
great.
speak for themselves. You know. Yeah.
I love though the way the dog just gets this insecurity out of Cinder and the animation, her body language of like, what is that?
Because there's no reason for Cinder to actually be scared of this thing in and of itself. She could roast this thing, no problem.
Yeah, they would probably have a good fight, but Cinder would probably eventually win because she's got elemental god powers.
It's still a Grimm. I'm convinced that for the most part, any of Team RWBY would be able to actually beat it in a one-on-one fight as long as they knew that this is what they were up against.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like as long as they were able to be mentally prepared beforehand and be like, okay,
but that's not a thing.
I think they could do it. But even more so. But regardless, even more so for Cinder, she'd toast this thing, right? Yeah. But it's not about whether she could toast this thing. It's about one, that this thing is higher in the pecking order than her in Salem's mind right now. For some reason, right?
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. On top of that, there's the fact that, I'm looking in a mirror, but aging myself 10 years older. You know, like this is what she's turning into, and she knows it, and she doesn't like it because that means that the power isn't truly hers. That she's still a slave, right? That she's that Salem is her master in entirety, right?
Right.
And now she's starting to strike out on her own. Not just be something where, Salem thinks I'm dead or whatever. What am I going to do? No. Now it's I'm going to actively defy Salem when she said I don't like repeating myself, which I loved, by the way, as far as a way to show how Salem keeps Cinder under her boot, you know? Like, fewer words is the best. Yeah. Right, exactly. I love it. I love it.
We're beings of different levels of existence.
Yep.
Cinder, yes, you have a cool little demigod power. But do you need me to remind you
who's the actual god?
Who I am.
Right, exactly.
No, you don't need to do that. Oh, good, because if I had to do it again, you'd be dead right now.
Right, it wouldn't take long.
No, I probably have a kill switch in you with that Grimm arm.
Oh, sure, yeah, that too. Like, and then the fact that Neo gets to see this.
Oh yeah, that's so
right?
Good.
Because for someone who doesn't say much, Neo speaks volumes, right?
Yeah.
The way she just sort of like floats Mary Poppins style alongside Cinder, just sort of staring at her. Like, Cinder knows that she's not hot shit, right?
Yeah. I love this shot here when Cinder gets up and she's angry. And I'm like, oh, who are you angry at? Her or yourself?
Right.
And then you see Neo being like, I could have told you about this.
Yeah. Like, I'm almost convinced that Neo does want revenge on Cinder, and that's why she's sticking around, just to watch. You know, like, just...
I do think, though, that she can't leave.
Probably.
Yeah.
Although, if she ends up running away with Cinder and Emerald, then she could always just stay gone.
Think about it, Jacob. It's not that she can't just umbrella out. Definitely could. But this whole nation is about to go up in black smoke. Basically.
Yeah.
It's
Torchwood's,
safer for her to be
or Torchwick.
Yeah. If you can't beat him, join him basically.
Yeah.
But instead, of getting Mary Poppins out.
Yep.
She actually gets to hear the entire line.
Exactly.
But the animation was fantastic. That little part of her gliding down was almost like a perfect little comedy form of condescension.
Yep.
Are we going to leave now? Are we going to watch you defy this supreme overlord of evil you have here?
You know what this almost feels like, and I'm positive I'm reading way too much into this, but as far as the visuals, what it communicates to me, Neo knows what her place in the universe is. She can just float in the air. no problem, right?
Yeah.
No strings
I
on
don't fight
me,
against
kind of a thing.
anything else out
Right.
there.
At peace, sort of essentially with, you know.
She's accepted the truth of the matter, unlike all the other characters.
Exactly.
Oh, you've cut the theme of the episode. That's a really cool one.
So meanwhile, she's just watching Cinder seething and all of that stuff.
She's rejecting reality and wants to substitute her own.
Exactly. And then Emerald comes along and is like, hey, I can be useful.
I literally have
You still care about me, right?
Right. I literally have a reality mucking power for specific people, which can make you even more deluded if you want to.
How would you like to meet the other reminder of what you are?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Oh my god.
Oh, someone who's spurned and rejected and not appreciated, even though they're actually rather talented.
And really genuinely cares about you, Cinder. Like, Emerald's, like, legitimately like, hey, like, please, just use me. And it's like, that's all kinds of screwed up. I love that Mercury's not here.
Oh, yeah. But Mercury probably knows where she is, you know?
I mean, of course. Like, he does care about Emerald. Right. But it's the idea of, like, you know, Emerald's probably like, I'm going to go. And he's like, are you going to go talk to Cinder? And she's like, what if I am? And he's like, she's a lost cause. Right. You know, like, you can keep attach yourself to that ship, but Hazel was the one that, you know, got us back here, you know.
It's true.
And man, like, he thick, you know. Oh my god, I just got to give a little shout out to just Hazel coming in being like, and all this is on you. It's just the thing of where we're like, this is why Hazel is with the bad guys.
Right.
He has simplified his truth down to this one thing, and he's accepting it. Now, is it actually the truth? Debatable.
It's his truth.
It's his truth, yeah. He's choosing to live by it.
Over and over.
And over again.
And over.
Oh my god. But it's just these people leading simple lives and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So good luck, Cinder. I am so and I can't wait to watch you burn.
Right. In some ways, it's a rooting for the purpose of like eating popcorn.
Yep.
You're just like, oh,
absolutely.
Cinder, please. Like,
and that's why my headcanon is that Neo is still pissed at Cinder for being also responsible for Torchwick's death. So, yeah, she's got front row seats this way.
I do think that Salem will maybe not directly intervene with this, because I'm sure she's able to know rather quickly if Cinder just decides to leave.
Yeah, she's...
But it might be a thing of where it's just like, I don't really need to do anything.
Yep. Best case scenario. Well, no. Both ways go well for Salem, right? Because if Cinder goes and actually manages to do something successfully, then she gets a win there. If Cinder fails, well, then she already told Cinder what the situation was. Yes, Cinder is helpful, but she doesn't truly need Cinder. So if she needs to get rid of her because she's being a nuisance or whatever, that's fine. And whether she gets rid of Cinder or not, or if she does, or anything like that, it will either light more of a fire under Cinder's ass to not fail her again, or under the other people.
I don't think she would like to just get rid of Cinder, though, because I think she still needs a young woman to wield the maiden power so that they can access the relic. That is something that she doesn't just have floating around.
That is true.
In her back pocket. Now, literally all three of the young ladies
that are leaving,
are leaving.
Could be candidates,
but they're all going probably with Cinder. So that's its own fun thing there as well. But while we've got all the villain stuff going on here, we have something crackling underneath the ice.
Yes.
And I want to bring it up here just real quick because I don't really have any idea what kind of grim it could be, although I'm like 99.99999% sure it's a grim. Remember Beacon?
Yes.
There was a giant elder grim dragon?
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes. What if Salem deposited a grim of sorts that would just sit here in eons underneath,
little sleeper Cylon for when she needs it. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not attacking because I am waiting for my little boy to wake up.
To grow up all big and strong.
Right. And she's like, it's time. And he's like, finally.
Okay, Mom. Yeah.
All right.
I haven't eaten in 5,000 years. Yeah.
So when we had the Leviathan Grimm, I got so excited that we were getting basically like more ancient kind of stylized Grimm.
Yeah, because even with the dragon, it was really cool because it was a dragon. It dropped Grimm everywhere. But as far as the things that we've seen since then, there's been some escalation, you know?
Yes.
And quite
also
frankly,
more complex styles of
more
Grimm.
complex. And also the fact that, okay, being in a mountain, cool, mountains are big. You know what's a lot bigger than a mountain? The ocean.
Yeah.
And
what happens if you've got something frozen in the ocean, especially if you already have a flying whale?
Yeah.
What else is there?
Yep.
I don't know.
But I'm excited to find out.
I kind of want it to be something Lovecraftian. But the thing that it's actually frozen just that doesn't jive in my mind.
It doesn't necessarily have to be frozen all the way down. It could just be that the surface, the top 20 feet of the water is ice or something, and it's been down below that, and now it's finally breaking.
I mean, there's
out
no
of the
way
ice.
it's just 20 feet of ice. This is still an actual island, you know. I mean, this actually could be water area, though.
Yeah. This could potentially be the coast. I don't know. Yeah. Because the Grimm was going towards Monstra, so it would be going towards the edge of the island. You know.
True.
To then fly up to them. So.
Yeah.
Maybe could be.
It looks like it's not the coast here.
Oh yeah. No.
But let's say this is a lake, though.
Yeah, it's still you can have a big thing down there. Like. I love the idea of Lovecraftian stuff. This is just something that's randomly popping into mind. I'm not entirely sure why. But the Leviathan from the Atlantis Disney movie.
Well, we already had a Leviathan of sorts.
No. Yeah. But that was more like kaiju in my mind. Like,
right.
I don't know what it'll end up looking like. You know, who knows, right? But I'm very excited for it to get weird.
Yeah. More weird. That would be wonderful. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction in a timer version where you sync up your footage to roosterteeth.com, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. Any level support gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us and the community there about RWBY as a show, other stories, TV shows, anime, stuff like that. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yep. Stream every weekday, so Monday through Friday, at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Mondays, we do podcasts. Tuesdays are One Piece dramatic manga readings. Wednesdays and Fridays, Caleb does gaming.
Yeah, I'm playing Hades right now, and I'll follow it up with Cyberpunk 2077 in December.
Right. And then on Thursdays, I do gaming, which right now is Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.